All right. Shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. The topic, there is a real fight going on. There is a real fight that's going on. There is a real fight that's going on. That's taking place in this day and time. There is a real fight that's taking place in this day and time. And many have no idea of what Sister Deborah is speaking about or what Sister Deborah is going to talk about because we are not really even desiring to know certain things that when you would think many would want to know really what's going on in this day and time. But I have learned to know that these things need be. The way things are going is the way Yah says, Deborah, these things need be. So I just leave it right there. I want to talk about the fight, the fight even of the fight of faith. That's a fight in itself. But the fight itself that's taking place as even as I speak, there's a fight that's going on. And it's if you ask many people, they wouldn't know or have no idea of what you're talking about and what it is that you're covering when you say fight, because they are more so fascinated with the natural fight when the flesh is fighting the flesh and the fight is just here and there everywhere on their work at their workplace, when they go shopping, when they go to the movies, when they go to the store, just in their household with families, neighborhood. I mean, just fighting in the flesh. It's what people basically look at. And they never, ever thought that, wait a minute, there is a fight that's taking place. And it is the worstest fight, but yet it is a real fight, what you call a real fight. It is not the type of fight that, you see today. Nowadays, people are not even fighting, they killing each other. But I want to talk to you about the fight. There is a fight that's taking place. And we're going to cover this fight. I want to first and foremost go to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 12. In 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 12, it reads, fight the good fight of faith. Lay a hold on eternal life. Lay a hold on. That means grip that eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and has professed a good confession before many witness. Let's read that again. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 12. Fight the good fight. No, fight the good fight of faith. Lay a hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called. See, people are called already to the eternal life. Why? Because they are written in the Lamb book of life, and has professed a good profession before many witness. I like this because it's telling you, fight the good fight of faith. understanding what faith is. Faith is the substance of things unseen, but yet believe. So that leads Sister Deborah to fully understand there is two faith. There's a faith in the flesh, and there is a faith in the spirit. And this faith is in the spirit. It is the unseen faith, but yet believed. Now, if we go up a little, let's go to verse 11. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11. Then we'll go down to verse 12 again. We speaking of faith as a fight. Okay, listen to what it says. But thou, O man of Yah, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, give and gave, patience, and meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold of eternal life, whereunto thou art also called. Whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Okay, so here it speaks of the faith fight, the good fight of faith. So there is a fight in the faith realm, the spiritual faith realm, that is a good fight. You see what I'm saying? See, a lot of us thinking the fight is what you see going on in the world today. The wars and rumors of wars and people fighting each other and killing each other. They really think they think that's the fight. There is a greater fight. There's a greater fight that's taking place in the world, not in the world, it's in the world, but it's in the spiritual realm beyond what you see in the natural. Just imagine that it's greater than what you see in the natural when you see people fighting and carry on or fighting and doing the things that they're doing in this day and time with the flesh. All it's different in the spirit. And that's what you're going to find out. That is that two fights. There's one in the flesh, but there's one in the spirit. Okay. Now, when I get to 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6 through 8. When I get to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 6, chapter 4, verse 6 through 8. And it reads, let's get there, chapter 4, 2 Timothy chapter 4, 6 through 8. It says, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. Now, this is Paul. He's telling that's it for him, y'all. It's time for him to die. Listen to what he says now, verse 7. I have fought a good fight. Paul, tell him. See, that's the different fight than what individual see fight as. See, many people have no idea that there is a fight in the spirit realm. 24-24. It's not a fight where you fight today and you fight again 6 months. In the spirit realm, it's 24-24. Now listen to this. Paul says time for him to depart. Now listen to what he said in verse 7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. You see how the faith is in there? See how the faith is detached to the fight itself? We know faith is the substance of things unseen. But yet you believe in the unseen. Just imagine that fight. It's unseen, but it's the worstest fight that can ever exist in the heavens and on the earth. So Paul is saying, 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which Yah, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that that give and gave at his appearance. That love his appearance, but it's really, I don't get that part. I really don't, because it's give and gave that. Let me read that over. But unto all them also that give and gave at, not at his appearing. His appearing. Now, Paul knows, and I like that, because you know what though? I'm going to go back and find out, did the other disciples speak on the level of the fight itself? I think Peter did. I think Peter is one that I believe did speak of the fight. But Paul, I like how Paul said it, because Paul said that the fight, he fought a good fight. I've finished my course. I have kept the faith. It reminds me of what Yah is always saying to me in the spirit. It's okay, Deborah. It's okay. These things need be. It's okay. You know, it's that comforter of a father that comes to his child and let him know, I know it. You seeing it. You hearing it. You beholding it. You understand it. But it's okay. These things need be. You see? So with Paul saying that he fought a good fight. But one thing you notice, he said, I finished my course. I have kept the faith. Look how faith come along with the fight. Why? Because the fight is spiritual, you guys. The fight is spiritual. Now, you got people fighting fleshly and worldly battles. That's for you. But the true fight is spiritual for those that are born of the Spirit. They are fighting the war in the spirit realm, to where the flesh is fighting the war in the natural realm. Big difference, to the point where Paul can say, I fought a good fight. I'm finished, y'all. It's time for me to depart. But I'm going to let you know, I kept the faith. Faith kept him. To tell the truth, faith kept him. You see, Paul is speaking of a fight that's in the spirit realm. He's not speaking of a natural fight. He's speaking of a fight that's in the spirit realm. So let's go to Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 and 13. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12 and 13. And it reads, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. I like that. I like that, because he's saying we. Okay. He say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day. That's what day we in. Having done all, just stand. Just stand. Why? Because it's not the flesh and blood that you warring against. Okay? The war is in the spirit. That's why he's telling us, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. See, the world wrestle with what? flesh and blood. But we, as he said, he's representing the body of Hamashiach. We're not warring with flesh and blood. We are warring with spirits. You see? Big difference. Totally big difference. When you war with somebody, you know who you are warring against, or you are warring with. You see them, you hear them, you know them. But when you're in the spirit realm, all you know is that you got wars. You are warring. You are fighting spirits. Why? Because the spirit knows that your spirit is an enemy to them. So you war. Your fight is not between flesh and blood. You're actually warring against or fighting against an individual spirit. Their spirit. And I salute that bad boy. I salute it because it is so true. When they can think that they're fighting you in their flesh, or are they warring against you in their flesh? I understand it in spiritual. That it's the war of their spirit that's fighting against me. Because if they were for Yah, they will be for me. But if they are against me, then they are against the Father that sent me. You see? So the war is in the spirit realm, hiding behind the flesh. Oh, Father, I'm going to get in trouble tonight. I can tell you right now, I'm about to get into some trouble. He's telling you that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Because Sister Deborah always talk about the twos. The twos is those that come down here as seeds. Those seeds, either one is the serpent seed or the woman seed, which is the spiritual seed. You see? You either the serpent seed or the spiritual seed. Okay? So what happens? The serpent seed is warring against the spiritual seed. What, today? Tomorrow? No, always will. Even if it take them to hide, within them is where the war is. It's an unseen spirit, okay? It's within. That's warring against the spirit within me. And it's so many verses telling you the difference from the one that's born of the flesh and the one that's born of the spirit. They have a battle against one another. Why? Because one is of the spirit and one is of the flesh, right? The one that is born of the flesh, its spirit is as wicked as its flesh is, because it's born of the flesh. You see what I'm saying? See, people thinking the spirit of an individual is really good. It's just a flesh. No, when you're born of the flesh, not only is your flesh wicked, but your spirit is wicked as well. That's where the war is at. Your wicked spirit and the spirits of Yah seeds is warring with the spirits of Satan seeds. And it's not it's not a flesh and blood thing. Woo-wee! It's not a flesh and blood thing. Okay? It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual war. And these are the unseen things that many understand not, nor can they see it, nor can they comprehend it. Because the war and the battle is spirit. It is unseen. This is why it says, Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle, just imagine, wrestling not against flesh and blood. But watch this here. But against principality, against powers, against rulers and darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we are all battling. You see? The serpent seed is battling the spiritual seeds of Yah. And they have no win, none whatsoever. But that's really where the war is at, y'all. If you think the wars were Russia and China or Israel over there or Palestine's, baby, there's a bigger war going on that your eyes cannot see, because you understand not the things of the spirit, and nor do you understand the spiritual realm, because you have not the light to see in the midst of the darkness, to recognize that, wait a minute, there is a war going on. It's an unseen war, and it's spiritual. It ain't got no connection. See, people really don't understand, when you're born of the spirit, that means your spirit is born of the spirit of Yah. When you're born of the flesh, that means you strictly flesh. And who gets that seed? That's Satan's seed. So you do the things that pleases Satan. You see, your spirit become partaker in anything your flesh tells it or do. It find pleasure in your ways, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your wisdom, your knowledge. Your flesh, your spirit is all for it, because it's born to serve your spirit, your flesh. So it's born of the flesh. Okay, so that's where the war really is, y'all. And the reason why it's speaking to you right here, and it says right here that it's not flesh and blood, because what it's trying to tell you, that the real war is spiritual. You got a spirit, I got a spirit. If I am the spirit of the seed of Yah, and you are the spirit of the seed of Satan, we warring against each other, and you have no idea, because you don't know that there's a battle going on right here and now, and it never ceases. It never ceases. That's why y'all got to pull up an end to it. He said, if he don't hurry up and do it, nobody gonna be saved, because he already know the battle is heated. The war is hot. And if I don't cut it short, ain't nobody gonna make it there, bruh. Because the battle is unseen. That's why do you think that people are not caught up in the things of Yah and the things that are spiritual? They have no detachment or no want to be part of the spirit of Yah, because they are the spirit of the serpent of Satan. But they don't understand your spirit is the participant. That's why he says it's not your flesh and blood, it's your spirit that is participating. And that's the part they're going to have to stand for judgment, because your spirit is doing the things of your flesh, and y'all want a card, y'all hitting hands with each other. Oh my, it says my battery is running out. Let me see if my connection is not here. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My connection to my laptop was not plugged up here. There you go. But it's a war, y'all. It's actually an unseen battle going on 24/24. And to me, you really think of it, and you can't help but feel Yah. When you think of, you can't help but feel Yah, because I can't help but feel it, because I'm like, you got this, don't you? I got it. I don't care how high and the powers that bees, I got it. I got this. And that's the thing about the Most High Yah, that I am overwhelmed or grateful to, because it is a war. And you know what, you guys, I knew it was something, because you can be on these platforms teaching and preaching and teaching and preaching, and you where you at, and I'm where I'm at. But guess what? There's a spiritual battle still being done, and I'm on the devil platform, and and people are all over the world in different states. It doesn't matter. There's a battle still going on right here and now. It's the battle of the spirit seed and the battle of the flesh seed, always taking place. Always taking place. That's why I get in trouble, because you say, try the spirit by the spirit, Deborah, what happened to your discerning spirit I gave you? See, people don't understand these things are spirit. a discerning spirit. When he say try the spirit by the spirit, because he know the war. Oh, Father, y'all. The war is in the spirit. The war is in the spirit realm, y'all. That's why people can't judge themselves daily. Because it's caught up in their spirit realm. The war, that's where the true war is at. Then he turned everything he's saying that is spirit, the fruit of the spirit, long suffering, that's of the spirit. Faith is of the spirit. Everything is of the spirit. You see? Because everything is resting in the spirit realm. So it makes sense that the battle is in the spirit. And that's why the flesh of people can't understand why they make the choices that they make in their emotions, in their feelings, in their personal opinion about certain things. It's because they cannot discern at all the spiritual realm of who they are. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that any human can make is to know your flesh, but don't know your spirit. That's why you can't look in the mirror and see who you are and look at yourself and judge yourself daily, because you can't look at yourself because you don't understand the battle is in the spirit and not in the flesh. You want to look in the mirror and to look at your flesh. So the devil says, judge yourself daily. When you judge yourself daily, your flesh, your spirit begin to judge your flesh and tell your flesh, you stand down. Oh, but no, you don't know how to judge yourself daily because the battle is not in your flesh, it's in your spirit. And when you get into the mirror and try to judge yourself, you can only measure judging your flesh because you don't understand the battle is in the spirit. That's where your battle is truly at. Let's continue. So I went on to Exodus. Oh boy, I'm going back to Torah. They got something in Torah talking about the fight. And this is showing you how long the fight exists. As long as man been on earth, there been a war. From what I heard, it was in the kingdom at one time first. So we know it has to come down to the earth because it was in the kingdom. And see, that war that was in the kingdom was a spiritual war. It wasn't an earthly war in the kingdom. It was a spiritual war, and it still exists here and now. This is why people can't measure themselves, because they have not gripped the fact that they flesh and they spirit. And that flesh won't let them measure their spirit, and their spirit can't measure their flesh because the flesh got a hold of them, won't even allow them to understand there's another entity inside of your flesh. Paul said, I done fought a good fight, Deborah. I done finished my course. So the fight that Paul was talking about was not in the battle of his flesh. It was the spiritual battle that he was called for. Paul said, I was called for that battle. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? Yes. It's a fight. It's a battle. And all it does for me is to understand. That's why you got a lane. That's why I told you got a lane. Whenever it get any way, go on in your lane. Because that lane is spiritual. I can go in that lane and lay my head on his bosom. That's the comforter. So in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, let me see, what is it talking about? Exodus chapter 14, verse 12 and 13, and it reads in verse 12, is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egypts. For it had been better for us to serve Egypt than that we should die in the wilderness. See, this is Israel and Judah, sick people. Listen to this. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, woo-wee, and see the salvation of Yah, which he will show to you today. Now, see that, you know what that told me? Right there. See, I was wondering about that. I was trying, now see, I think I'm maybe 6 videos I've done in the time past about how all those plagues that Yah was putting on Pharaoh was not so much for Pharaoh and the Egyptian. It was for Israel to see what Yah was doing to them on their behalf. Yah was doing this. So Yah had an ideal to get, had a way that he wanted them to see his power against their enemy, the one that had them oppressed and in bondage. But guess what? Israel and Judah never saw it. So here in verse 13, Exodus 14 and verse 13, Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yah. Yah finna fight on their behalf. He's getting ready to fight on their behalf. And Moses is telling them to see it. Do you think that they saw it? No, they never saw it. That's why the moment they stepped on the land, the promised land, not the promised land, in the wilderness, instant they went up against Moses them and go and said something about Yah. They have forgotten the fact that, wait a minute, did you just see what he brought forth the sea? Did you see him part the sea and you came down on dry land and Pharaoh's army got drowned? Did you not see that? They wasn't caring about all of that. That's what I tell y'all. It's just strange to me for a people to have been able to behold that great, awesome power out of the Father's right hand. Do you think that if he came down today and he showed us his power in his right hand and his stretched out arm, we too would be as not ignorant, we too would be stupid like they were back then? Most likely we would, huh? Because all those things that he were doing, they couldn't see him, even though he was doing it in the spirit realm, but he was showing it to them in the natural. He was doing Pharaoh them up for their behalf. Listen to what Moses said in 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still. Watch this here. And see the salvation of Yah, which he will show to you today. Ooh-wee, Deborah. Y'all, I ain't never read that part. You know why? Because it showing me exactly what I always thought. All those things that he was showing Israel and Judah that he can do with that right hand and that stretched out arm, and they missed it even to today. Even to today. All those plagues he put on Pharaoh, and they missed it even to today. That's why they won't preach and teach Yah to where he can get the glory. No one ever thought that no one is on these platforms giving him the glory. They getting the glory and the honor and the praise, but Yah ain't getting nothing. And they content with that. Now this is Yah fighting the battle in Egypt for and before the children of Egypt, the children of Israel and Judah. And Moses telling them right here, which he will show to you today. Wait a minute, Moses. You mean to tell me, Moses, come on. It really was that bad. It had to have been that bad because when I see him doing the plagues, I'm like saying, well, wait a minute, hold up, Father, hold up. Why all them things? Why are you doing Pharaoh like that? They ain't gonna see you. But y'all still did it. And they still didn't see him. What is it they didn't see, Deborah? They didn't see that right hand. They didn't see that stretched out arm. They didn't see all that power. Who can part the sea and let you walk on dry wall, and the sea is parted on both sides, sitting up like a wall, and the army is behind you, and they get drowned and you don't? Oh, come on, Deborah. But Deborah, you got to also think, before all that happened, he pulled out plagues on Pharaoh and the people of Egypt. So they didn't see that either. Let me show you something. I'm going to show y'all how powerful it is to know it's deeper than ignorant of Israel and Judah. Watch this. He told Moses to tell them to put to sacrifice a lamb and cook it, but take the blood and put it on the doorpost. Because when midnight hour come, death is gonna come back and kill all the firstborn. You gonna tell me when they woke up that morning, they wasn't stung, they wasn't shocked, they wasn't amazed of the right hand of the Father and the stretched out arm who sought death? Come on! They didn't see it, none of it. They don't see it today. The same people, these are their children. They still don't see it today. And that's why I know when I'm on here, it's more so he said, I'm giving it to you. If you choose, you give it. But if you don't, it's still all well. Because you all don't look at Sister Deborah's YouTube and see how many videos I have uploaded. I'm good. I got enough awards to look forward to in the kingdom. It ain't no awards on the earth going to override no awards that I know that I have enough of in the kingdom. You see? To where you dealing with a fight, Deborah, and you in the midst of the fight, and it's spiritual, and they can't see it. And it's a war going on. This is why it's at the end. There's a war in the spirit realm, and there's a war going on in the natural. What did that mean? It's time to get up out of here. It's the end, y'all. That's what it means. Everything is about to be done away with. It's truly the end. Okay? So even in Egypt, he was fighting Pharaoh for them. Now, was he fighting Pharaoh in the natural, or was he fighting Pharaoh in the spirit? Was he fighting Pharaoh and those that are in Egypt? Was he fighting them in the natural, or was he fighting them in the spirit? He was fighting them in the spirit realm. He was fighting them in the spirit realm with the power that could be seen in the natural. And Israel and Judah went over their heads. That's why y'all be thinking I'll be just talking when I say going over your head. That's how simple, and that's how simple everything you can say can go straight over their head, because it went over your forefathers' heads. When y'all was right there showing them signs and wonders, it went over their head. I'm going to show you another way that I know that it goes over their head. When Yeshua came on the scene, he was healing, doing miracle signs and wonders. Who said crucify him? His own bloodline, Judah. The tribe in which he came into. Not his bloodline from the bloodline, but his tribe he came into, which was Judah and Israel as well. They were saying, crucify him. Crucify him. Now, wait a minute. Hold up, bro. What you mean? What y'all talking about crucify him? Did you not see what he just did? How can he? You're telling something. Now, I'm going to show you how stupid it was then as it is today. How you going to sit and say crucify him when you saw him raise the dead? How, you know what? It shows you the level of the war that's fought in the spirit realm. You're saying crucify him, and you sat around him, saw the miracle signs and wonders. You saw him wake the dead, heal the sick, open the blind eyes. The cripple was walking, feeding the hungry. And wait a minute, hold up now. And you standing before the Gentiles, the heathens, saying crucify? Y'all, that don't even make any sense. You see? So when you thinking that sister saying you looking at her all cockeyed, just think about that. It all fits in for today, y'all. Whether you like it or not, it all fit in. Because I will be the enemy speaking the truth. I become your enemy because I speak truth. Not because I speak a lie. And why would you say that, Deborah? Because the war is in the spirit. And you don't have the sense to recognize the spiritual war and the spiritual battle that's actually taking place. That's why you can't judge yourself. You can't see yourself in any wrong thinking, wrong feeling, wrong acting, and wrong doing. You can't even see yourself with a hardened heart. You know why? You have no idea that you have another entity, and that's in the spirit. That entity is fighting the war against those that are in the spirit realm of Yah. You see? That's the whole battle, y'all. The whole battle is in the spirit. While y'all think it's about he said this, she said that, she said it like this, she did it like this, he did it like that, he didn't do this, or he didn't do that, or she didn't do this, all that, guess what? That's not what a battle is. It's deeper. It's deeper. That's why people can't get off of drugs. That's why people can't get off of alcohol. That's why people can't stop killing, murdering, stealing, lying, because they don't understand the war is in the spirit. And you have turned your whole spirit over to the ways of your flesh. So it won't see the ways of the spirit. It won't see the battles in the spirit realm. So let's go. Psalms 35. In Psalms 35 and verse 1. In Psalms 35 and verse 1. Psalms 35 and verse 1. And it reads, plead my cause, O Yah, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight, praise the mighty Yah against me. Why is David saying that? Because David knows, like Sister Deborah knows, that the war is in the spirit. And David is wanting Yah to fight that war in the spirit. Because he knows if Yah would fight and defeat the war in the spirit, he's already got victory in the war that he's fighting with his hands. Why? Because Yah has defeated it in the spirit. Listen to what David says. Plead my cause, O Yah, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. That's the spiritual war, you guys. You know where it says you ain't fighting against flesh and blood? He's letting you know right there. David is asking for that help that he needs to defeat the flesh and blood, because he knows the battle has to be fought in the spirit for him to get victory in the flesh. How about that? You cannot get the victory in the flesh if you don't get the victory in the spirit. All that time, Paul was saying, I fought a good fight. I finished the course. He knew what time it was for him to get up and get out. Death. But it was all where? Because what? I fought a good fight. I finished my course. I kept the faith. All that is spiritual he talking about. The fight was always spiritual. So y'all don't understand when you come down here as the spiritual seed and you are the servant of the Most High Yah, the battle ain't for you to try to defeat, because you will and you shall lose. Thank you, David, for that, because I like that. And I like to say what David said again. Psalms 35 and verse 1. Plead my cause. Oh, yeah. See, we don't have to fight our battles. Sister Deborah don't have to get on this devil platform and fight and try to say things to make somebody feel good or think good or act a certain way to pull pleasure and get. Hey, no, baby. This battle ain't in your flesh. You can battle in the flesh, but this thing is bigger than your flesh. I had to tell a man today. He was talking so stupid, and I had to tell him, "You all off course, because this thing ain't in the flesh; it's in the spirit." And that's all Sister Deborah been teaching on this devil platform to the people. Always letting you know where everything really resides. But you know they don't want that. The Father say, "I want you to go back and look at that page you was talking about." I did a video about if you want to hear something good and positive. And in that video, I began to start off with saying all the good things about Yah. All the positive things rest in the bosom of Yah and about Yah. So I went in and got all the verses in the scriptures about Yah. And in the middle of me videoing, the Spirit spoke to me. He said, now, when you wait a few days, he told me to wait 5 days, but he mentioned it to me today. And he said, when you look and you go back to that, it's going to have less views and less likes than any of your videos. He ain't saying all of them, but he said it's going to be lesser than less when it should be about him. It should be greater and greater. You see, that's what he was trying to get me to see. So what that showed me is what he's been teaching me all this time and what I've been saying on this devil platform all this time. You see, even to the point where I say I'm talking to the brick wall, even to the point where I said, looking at me cockeyed, that stuff is real. And I went and I looked at it. I said, it sure is, Father. Why can't I say something good and positive about Yah? Huh? Oh, I forgot. You want it to be about you. How you can apply good and positive to you. See, that's what he wanted me to see. You can say whatever you want about me, Deborah. They still, the hearts is too many in the dark. So you be lucky to have that one in the midst. That's how bad it is. That's how he reveals stuff to show you. And then when he said, look at it, I said, you know what? But you said it was going to be like that. Yes, he did. He told me. Oh, see, they don't want to hear nothing good and positive about Yah. I make a video and talking strictly about how awesome he is, how great, how powerful, and how this and people won't look at it. People won't like it. People won't look at it because they sick. You see? And I thank him for the gift of that one. The gift of having that one is more than a billion of subscribers in life. Just that one. You know how Yeshua said, he said, all that thou hast given me, Father, I have not lost one. See, that's that one. That means that when he said, all that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. What do that mean? What you've given me, not what I've gotten myself. They all still here. You see, that's what I embrace. That's why he gave me that. Always understand that one, Deborah, and that to me is precious. When he said that, I said, "Oh man, that's deep." And that's the example where Yeshua was saying, "All that thou hast given me, I have not lost one." Woo! We just think of that, y'all. All that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. He ain't saying that they are his. He's talking about what Yah given him, what Yah has trusted him with. I still have them. See, I still have them. I didn't lose what you gave me and trust me with. And that's what he say to me, Deborah, just that one. That's all it takes is just that one. And that's a beautiful thing, y'all. It's a beautiful thing to know that. Okay. So when Paul is in Psalms 35 and verse 1 and asking the Father to fight that battle for him, he's talking about in the spirit realm. Because if y'all fought that battle in the spirit realm, he got the victory in the natural. Praise the mighty Yah. So let's look into Psalms 18. Now in Psalms 18, Psalms 18 is the one that Yah gave me. I think I was like 16, 17, and 18. I think somewhere in there. And he said, if you ever get lost, okay, you can also read Psalms 18 and you'll find your right path. That's what the Father told me. I was a young teenager when he told me that. And it was Psalms 18. So here is Psalms 18. And we're going to Psalms 18 and verse 32 to 35. Psalms 18 and 32 to 35. It is Yah that geareth me with strength and make it me walk perfect. Now you see that? We think it's us. We give too much to our flesh, to ourselves, as the one that stands over in the perfection or the things that strengthen us. It's never us, y'all. And that's another issue that a lot of people have. They want so much of me, and mine applied to them, till it is crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm serious. That's a sick mindset. Now here go in Psalms 18 and verse 32, it says, it is Yah that geareth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. Verse 33, he maketh my feet like hind feet and setteth me upon a high place. Verse 34, he teaches my hands to war. You see that? He teaches my hands to war so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. Verse 35, thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation and thy right hand. Woo-wee! See there? Right then, Paul began to speak of how he teaches his hands, which is his natural hands, how to war so that the bow of the steel is broken by my arms. So when he's talking about his hands with an S and his arms, he's talking about Paul's real hands, his natural hands, his fleshly hands, and his fleshly arms. Okay, but listen to what Paul say in 35. Thou hast also given me the shield of salvation and thy right hand has holding me up, and thy gentleness has made me great. Paul is actually sitting here telling you how the right hand and the salvation is what's holding him up. And this is where he's really getting his victory in the spirit realm. It's not the natural. He's getting his victory in the spirit realm of who Yah is. And you know what? It gets me all. It gets me too deep to see David and them and Paul and Solomon them talking, and even Job them talking like they know Yah, like I know him. I hear even Satan seems as if he know Yah, like I know him. And I'm like trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with the people in this world today who don't know him like that? You see, then you wonder, I said, okay, so this is the war going on. It ain't meant for them to have or to be in the battle of the spirit war. They're in the battle of the flesh war. That's why. They don't even realize, do you all know that most people don't even know they have a spirit that Yah has given them of themselves? And that spirit is always trying to tame that flesh and try to get the flesh not to do the things that it does. But when they are born of flesh, when they are born of the flesh, then the flesh rule and not their own spirit. So that their own spirit is damned because their flesh is ruling them. Oh, that's why he said we fight not against the flesh and blood. Let me show you an example what he said. Okay, let's use me for example. If for instance, if I was born of the flesh, born of the flesh, that means I am in that serpent seed. I am the serpent seed. I have the serpent seed. And I'm born of the flesh. I got a spirit, just like the person that got a spirit that's born of the spirit. We all got spirits. But what the spirit of the serpent seed and the spirit of the flesh, what they do is they flesh rule their spirit. But the people who got the spirit of the spirit, Yah rule their spirit. You see the difference? It's a big difference. They let the flesh rule their spirit. That's why they born of the flesh, because the flesh rules their spirit. But he that's born of the spirit, Yah rules their spirit. That's the difference. Okay? So when it all said and done, the one that let their flesh rule their spirit, the war of their spirit goes up against the war of us that are the spirit of Yah. You see? That's where the war and the true battle is at. Oh, yes, the true battle is there. And a lot of people, even in your household, at your workplace, in your community, in your neighborhood. I had a sister call me from Texas. She come telling me when I heard that you do this, you do this, you can do this, you can do that. I said to her, well, why are you calling? When they wouldn't call, when they know me, so why wouldn't they? You know why? It's because they're on the other side of the fence. You see? And I broke a lot of things down to her to let her know. The reality is we got two seas down here on the earth. We got two different kind of spirits. The spirit of Yah and the spirit of the serpent seed. We battling, people battling. And when you know what? I'm going to tell you something, y'all. It was so deep what she was talking about. It was so deep. When I got off talking to her, I realized this is not a battle an individual in the spirit needs to get in. And I said some powerful things that I had no idea I knew. That's what I'm telling you. When you are led by the Ruach will speak that truth in a way that you don't know truth. It sure will. Because I'm sitting here saying to her things that, hey, I should have been saying to everybody. And just explaining to her. I'm going to tell you a part of it. I was telling her that what is going on is people are thinking of their families and themselves as separate, as individuals, separate. But when you're under the Ruach, when the Holy Spirit is in you, you got to make sure you searched out those that are of the Spirit. But what people are doing is those that are of the Spirit of the Most High Yah keep taking their tails into the alley with those that are of the flesh, figuring we know them well. They seem nice. They seem pleasant. They seem good. Oh, they okay. And we keep dipping into coming from one end of the Spirit, keep dipping into he that is of the flesh, because we figure I worked with them 10 years or 15, 20 years. This is my family. These are my children. And Yah said, if I separate the wheat from the tare, that means in your household, that means on your workplace, that means in your community, that means everywhere. I separate the wheat from the tare. What is it you don't get? Because they don't understand that there is a war in the spirit in this day and time, right now as I speak, that's warring against the darkness. And we're feeling that we can mingle over in the area of where the darkness is at. And the darkness, get this, think that they can mingle over here where the spiritual ones are, and they hide, they cunning, they slick and sneaky on the back wall. You see, but when he says, I separate the wheat from the tare, understand, the Most High Yah did that. So wheat, don't take your tail over there with the tare, because you know the tare for 20, 30, 40 years. Come up out of them, or you shall receive. You see? They don't understand. People are asking, you know why? Going back to the beginning. The battle is going on, the fight, and they don't have no idea that there is an unseen war going on right now, and they are in the midst of it. So I was explaining that to the young lady from Texas today, and that you're trying to figure out, well, why is it you keep going back to help these people and to do these people this way and to do this, and they keep doing this to you for all these years and still doing it? It's because you keep going back as the light in the darkness, thinking that the darkness is going to finally accept the light that's in you, and there's no such thing when he didn't already separate the tare from the wheat and the wheat from the tare. The example is the parable, and the example is there was 10 virgins. When the trumpet was blown and they trimmed their lamps, 5, there was 10. One was without oil. The one that was without oil wanted to go in with the one that had oil. And the one that had oil will not give them oil. Now, why didn't the 5 virgins split their oil? Why didn't you get? Because the separation was already done. One had and one didn't. That was the will of the Father. That's why the one that had oil cannot give the one that didn't have oil some oil. Because the first thing you would think, you would say, well, why didn't they just go on and give them some oil so then they can get in too? Because you can't. That was separating the wheat from the tare. That's the whole idea of the parables, giving us some sort of leeway of how it's going to be in the end days. The one that's the tare is going to go in. Now, the one that's in the wheat is going to go in, and the tare is not. And the tare went on their way. Why? Because they wasn't going to get in. And the one that had oil, you'll think that they would have poured some oil and given them some oil. They couldn't, because it wasn't theirs to give. It belonged to Yah. So that's what he was sharing with me as I was talking to this lady, because the war, the fight, the battle is real, you guys. It is a war out here. And he's separating the wheat from the tare. He's letting those who think they where they think they at, let them go their way. Let them find their way. Let them go their way. Deborah, separating the wheat from the tare. Keep it here. That means keep remembering that. And she was just so happy, because she said, everything you're saying, that is what it says in the Bible. But I said, it's instructions and direction, but I'm giving you even more of it because I'm breaking it down to you, what it stands for. Really trying to tell you. You see, been in church all her life and struggling with the idea that how can I continue to be it, because what happened is this. I know for a fact he's working with me by getting me to understand how he separate the wheat from the tare. And I love the way he do it, because he'll start from your own household. Praise the mighty Yah. Why? Because when Yah really has it in for you, he really cares for you. He shows you things to get you to understand things in a way that's spiritual first and foremost, and the realm of it in the natural, so you understand the fullness. You see, a lot of people today understand their own understanding and how they perceive things and how they get it and how they understand it. But it's bigger than that, child. Because if there's really a war going on bigger than the natural wars you see, then you are missing out on something, y'all. You're missing out. Let's go to did we finish Psalms? Psalms 18 and verse 32. Okay, yeah, we did. And because I like the idea of David began to tell him how his right hand, Yah's right hand, is going to hold him up. Tell me, ain't that beautiful? While he fighting a battle with Yah taught him how to fight the war with his hands and with his bow. But he says, you taught me that, and thy right hand has held me up. See, it ain't no victory, no battle that you're gonna fight in this spiritual battle that ain't gonna be fought by Yah. Yah fight the battles, not you. Okay, so let's go to Psalms 59. Let's see what Psalms 59 and 1 and 2. Psalms 59, verse 1 and 2. There is a battle going on, and another thing, by him separating the wheat from the tare, that's a battle within itself. Because the tare now knows that it has been separated from the wheat. It has no idea what the separation it really stands for, because that's how ignorant the tare is. It's thinking it has this choice, this has this power to make the choice to separate. But baby, separation in Yah right hand is a separation that was in the kingdom before he brought it on the earth. So the tare was already separated in the kingdom from the tare. Okay, I don't care how it end up on the earth mingling together. Heavens had already separated in the book. Okay, so in Psalms 59 and verse 1 and 2. Psalms 59 and verse 1 and 2. I deliver, no, not I, that's verse 1 and 2. Deliver me from my enemies, O Yah. Defend me from them that rise up against me. Verse 2. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity. and save me from bloody men. See, what David is saying, he was a king. He was a warrior, and he was a fighter in war. But for David to be all that which he was all that and some. He was all that and some. All that and some. David was all that and some. He was a good fighter, a good king. He was a good leader in the war, real war, like in not real war, I would say the natural war, like Russia and all that. David was top dog. But listen to what the top dog is saying. Let's go again. Deliver me from my enemies, O Yah. Defend me from them that rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from bloody men. David knew that the war is not what he's battling with his fists, which he's good at, with his sword, in which he's good at. He had this large army. He was a leader, a captain, and a king. But he knew that the battle was not in the natural, you guys. That's why he was saying those things to Yah, which is spirit. You better touch that spirit realm before you think you coming up on anything in the natural. Because the only one gonna get the victory is the one that's in the spirit realm. Ain't no war fought in the flesh. I mean, defeated and won in the flesh until it is defeated in the spirit. And that's what 15 billion people on the earth has no idea of what I just said. They have no idea of what it means or what it said, and they never will. And I thank the Father from already separating the wheat from the tare. So as I see David in the Psalms, David is pleading with the victory, which is Yah. David knew he was a king. He was a leader. He had a large army. A lot of people was afraid of him. But y'all, David want me to tell y'all, it wasn't the war that I was fighting people in my natural. It was the war that was spiritual, that was greater than the war in which I was fighting in the natural. Y'all better wake up. The war is not in the natural. Things happening to you, things going on, you will think that the things that is taking place is because, oh, it's in the natural. I got to fight this, I got to fight this, I got to fight this. Wait a minute, y'all. It's not in the natural. It's in the spirit realm. Once you can be defeated in the spirit, not you, but Yah, then you got victory in the natural. But it must be fought from the spiritual level. That's why everything that's on earth answer to Yah in the spirit. The moon answer to him. The sea answer to him. The stars answer to him. The sun answer to him. The sky answer to him. The wind answer to him. Why? Because he's spiritual control. But flesh, humans, feel that they don't answer to him and don't even know. Your whole living is already written. Answer to that. Answer to that. So when you're running around here thinking you got it nailed from A to Z, understand you ain't even got off of A yet when it come down to Yah. You ain't got off of A. You ain't got sense enough to come off of A. Because if you come off of A just to go to B, you'll be a dead flesh. So you lucky he got you on A and got you stuck on A. But the battle is not what's in the flesh, you guys. It is the battle in the spirit realm for every situation there is. And David Paul explained it. David explained it. If you get over there to Solomon, he'll explain it. Solomon will tell you, wait a minute, Deborah, I asked for to know everything under the sun. Everything under the sun don't have nothing righteous. He said, but that's what I learned. All of it was vain and vexed. I said, yeah, right. That's what Solomon was. That's why he got bent. Because once he was able to understand all that was under the sun, he found out that it was all vanity, vexation, worthless. It's the things that's in the spirit that you must grip and graft and hold on to. So when you heard Sister Deborah talking about spiritual backpack, spirit and truth, and the things of the spirit, you better try to grip that bad boy, because you ain't going to defeat nothing in the natural without defeating it in the spirit. And if you think that you can defeat in the natural, it's just holding on a little while longer. And next thing you know, that same thing you thought you defeated in the natural, it's going to come back. It's going to pull up and say, hello. You going to say, I thought I defeated that issue. I thought I got victory there. I thought it was over there. No, baby. Until y'all in the spirit defeat and get victory in the spirit realm for you and on your behalf, you ain't winning nothing. You ain't winning nothing. I sit back and see him talking about revelation. And I'm like saying, boy, I realize I got an opportunity to learn how to fall in connection with the I am. Because when you see how everything is done by him and how he ruled it all from beginning to the end and how he got the full control over it all, you'll understand why it's called I am. That I am. Why he is called that? Because he can be whatever he want to be. I don't have to come down to the bottom of this pit. Hey, angel, go down. Here go the keys. Get that chain over there. Go chain Satan up. I can do that, said the Most High Yah. When the earth and the sky saw his face, it took off running and never to be seen. Why? Because once it saw his face, that ended them. See, but who did they see? They saw the I am, face to face, and it was over for them. That's in Revelation chapter 20. And John, he was like whacked out because he saw that. It's just because we as humans on the earth have not given him the respect, the honor, the glory, the exalting him, magnifying him and glorifying him and seeing him for him who he is. This is why we don't know him like that, because we don't even know ourselves. It's a bad thing to live and die and never know that you had a spirit. But to get to the kingdom, and then he tells you your spirit wakes up if it's dead, or if when you wake up, you standing and you coming before the throne for your turn, and then now you in your spirit, and you like said you trying to figure it out. Ain't no figuring nothing out, because like he said, they gonna come back like they left. What you mean? What do you mean, Father? Yeah, Deborah, they gonna come back like they left. Lying. I did this in your name. You know why? A lot of you all didn't even get it. And this is another reason why I tell y'all, be careful when you think you have mastered the name. Because if they come up and they said, well, I did this in your name, and I did this in your name, and I did this in your name. And I said to the Father, I said, they said they did all those miracles and signs and wonders. He said, Deborah, I ain't had no problem with them doing that. Because when I saw Moses, Pharaoh's little sorcery things, they call themselves doing it. I ain't had no problem with them, what they did. They said they did this, they did this. What I have a problem with is my name. My name ain't in them. See, they didn't know that, Deborah. They thought the name was something they could speak. They thought the name is something they can pronounce. Ooh-wee. They had it wrong all the time. See, my name ain't something that you can just come up and just pull up and say, hey, that's it. I got it. I got it. No, you can't. That's why they're going to come back and say, I did this. See, they're going to come back and say, I did this in your name. I did this in your name. Y'all say he ain't had no problem with you, what you said you did. But when you come up into me and you tell me in my name and you don't have my name in you, then I know who you side you on, the liar. Hell for you that was assigned for you from the beginning. Go on out here. See, that's what people didn't know, even to today. That's why I try to tell you, you run around here and you want to play faking it and thinking you're going to make it. You go right ahead. You are supposed to fake it until you think you're going to make it somewhere. It's in you. And you're doing everything else with your wicked mindset and your hardened heart. But yet, you're going to make it. So this is the reason why that same line going to enter right back where it come from. Where all this stuff started. I did this. I did this in your name. I did this in your name. I said, when they said they did, they just lied. He said, but it ain't the fact of what they did, Deborah. They said the name. That told on them right there. Did y'all know that? I know y'all didn't know that. That told on them. When they pulled up that name, I did this. If they would have got up there and said, I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this. You know what they did? I'm sure how stupid they are. They get up there and say, I did this in your name. I did this in your name. When you know my name. Let me give you another one. When he get us over there to Mount Zion, he's going to put his name in us. So I'm like, okay, if you're going to put your name in us, what's the name that's in us now? It ain't it. Because if I got to put my name in you, that tells you ain't never had my name. The name is attached to the Holy Spirit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell y'all that no one can't beat you up on commandments and laws. Because the spiritual commandments and the spiritual laws is different than the fleshly commandment and the fleshly laws. So they can't take the fleshly laws and try to train you when the spiritual law is living in you. The spiritual commandments is living in you. So how are you going to pull up? You can't. And that's what the Father always wants us to understand. Those that are in the light, those that know spirit and truth, those who have spiritual backpacks. They knows these things. So I say unto you, the battle is not where the eyes can see. It is a battle of the spirit. And in process of it, the faith helped you through it. Salvation helped you with it. The faith, see all those brands, what did I tell you? When you come down here with those brands, that righteous belief, that faith, and that fear, that's a brand of Yah. That he brand your spirit already. Paul said, I kept the faith. Because the faith kept him. That's why. That's why. And that's the spiritual faith. But you got a faith in your flesh too. But that's the spiritual faith. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of that. But let me tell you again and again and again. The battle is in the spirit. It has always been. But if you really, watch this here. If you ever think to wrap the battle in the spirit realm, guess what? You'll have it in the proper order. You'll have it right where it needs to be. And when we wrap it in the spirit realm, we trust on the spiritual one that got the battle, which is the right hand and it's stretched out on to defeat every victory in the spirit realm as well as in the natural. We still got to give it back to the one who got all the power, because he's the one that gives us the victory. And that's what David was saying. You know, he had large army. He's a king. He was a good soldier. He was good with the sword. He was good at everything. But he's sitting here making sure we understand the battle is not the war I go out here in. The battle is spiritual. So I got to make sure I touch base with the spiritual Yah to defeat the battle in the flesh. And that's how we have to touch the hem of his garment to defeat cancer, addiction, any type of victory we looking to be delivered from. It has to be fought in the spirit and not in the flesh. That's why when people want to use all medication and all kind of things to fight different illness and to get victory and trying to be better, look better, and do better, they end up never getting the victory because they didn't understand what I'm telling you now. You first got to get the victory in the flesh, in the spirit. The victory has to be won for your cancer to be delivered in the spirit realm. The victory has to be won in any illness and any addictions you have. It has to be defeated in the spirit realm, first and foremost, because the battle is there. And once it is defeated there, it is over. It is finished. You see, but no, they want the doctor to do surgery. We got to get the medication so we can take this at nighttime, this in the morning, this in the evening. We got to do it their way because that's where your faith is, in someone else. You see, that's why your spiritual whole mission is in what you can believe based on what you see and based on what they tell you. But the battle is unseen. So when you hear him say the battle is not flesh and blood, because the flesh and blood has one place to go, and that's back to the earth. The battle is in the spirit that lives eternal. So that's what you need to first and foremost get victory in smoking, in drinking, in porno, in homosexual, in sexual addiction, in anything. It has to be defeated in the spirit, first and foremost, to get the full victory in the flesh, or to get deliverance in the flesh. And that's why nothing is being defeated in the world today. It's because Yah is not really geared to really giving people that type of victory when the wheat and the tare has been separated. And he also has spoken to me today when I was talking to the lady in Texas, is that the one, like, it's like the wheat keep running over there mingling with the tare. The wheat is actually mingling with the tare. Instead of letting the tare stay where he at and the wheat stay where they at, those that are in the wheat, you have to stay on your side and let the tare stay on their side. The tare can be in your family. The tare can be in your community, in your neighborhood, your workplace, place where you volunteer. Like I said, definitely in your family. There's wheat and there's tare. The wheat is spiritual. The tare is the serpent seed. And this is why they can't divide themselves. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of this message of the fight. And I say unto you, I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. And again, I hope you got something out of it. Try to touch the hem of his garment and trust and have in him greater in thee than what is in the world, so you can be able to defeat whatever there is that's out here. It's a lot of things happening, y'all, right now. It's a lot of things going on. I want y'all to also, something that I've been hearing lately that I think is I can't say sad. He don't want me to keep saying it, but it's so sickening. don't ever assume that Yah is going to come and destroy Babylon and let Judah and Israel not be judged in the midst. All the prophecies has led up to these things coming upon all of us. When he said earthquakes in diverse places and pestilence and famine, he wasn't saying exclude Israel and Judah. A lot of people are teaching on these platforms a lot of things to exclude Israel and Judah in the United States and include all the heathens and Gentiles and Europeans, especially. But what they got to understand, you're still here. No matter what went in Florida, no matter what happened in North Carolina, no matter what happened wherever, we have to understand Yah is not one that's going to just pinpoint a sundown town, and then Judah is in this town. Let's say Judah is in New York, Chicago, Missouri, California, murdering up like crazy. Does that make any sense to you guys? Anybody, just tell me, do that make any sense? Why would Yah go destroy a sundown town, but then Judah is killing up their own nation here in different states in the United States like crazy? But Yah is Yah is destroying sundown town. You get what I'm saying? We have to see Yah bigger than that. We got to stop trying to put them in a little bitty black box and that black box is like we say that he is this. He's like this. He's doing this. No, that don't even make any sense to me. The things that I am seeing Judah do, and Yah gonna overlook them and go way over there and tear up sundown town. You see, now even here in each one of our states, is a lot of things actually taking place. A lot of things are happening, and none of us, Sister Deborah, the Hebrew Israelites, the melanated people, the Europeans, the Roman Catholics, the heathens and Gentiles, none of us can really separate ourselves from the prophecies and say that, okay, this prophecy is for you all. This prophecy is for you all. No. When he said famine, that was for everyone. He says pestilence, that was for everyone. Earthquake, that was for everyone. That's not saying, when he said everyone, it's not geared to everyone and not to Judah and Israel as if they're the golden angels and they're not doing any. They're doing just as much worse things as everybody else is doing. Yes, they are. They are doing it. Judah just don't own that thing. Judah just don't admit to it. But Judah is doing just as much wicked and evil. And we don't want to own that thing. If we could own it, then he could deliver us. But we don't even want to own it. We want it to be the sundown towns. And that's for them. Yeah, Yah can do whatever he wants and how he wants it. But he ain't doing it for us to brag as if our nation is all that and some. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not saying that we should be standing on a pedestal as if our nation ain't doing nothing. And we the goody two shoes in the world. And we destroyed our own nation with Satan's ways. So I don't get caught up in he doing it to them because they did this, they did. But what is he doing to Judah? Then he said he's gonna judge the house first. So are we saying that it's okay for us to continue to do what we're doing because he's only going to deal with pestilence? Is only going to hit them. Famine is only going to hit them. earthquake is going to only be around them. Come on now. See, that's a mind. That's when people want to teach and start preaching this thing out of order. That's when they want to really teach and preach this thing out of order instead of teaching people to seek the face of Yah and fall on their face to seek the face of Yah. No, they ain't going to tell you to fall on your face and seek Yah because of this critical time. They want it to be about a black and white thing, just like the heathens and the Gentiles. They want it so bad, a racial war. They don't need to want it. It ain't that they want a racial war. It's that they already got it planned. It's already set up. And the way it's set up, I don't know if y'all ever seen Purge 1 and Purge 2. That's how it's going to go down. A lot of it's going to go down like that. Yes. People are going to be allowed to go on, and that's why they passed the gun law. Get as many guns and now weapons and bullets and ammunition. All of that is good to go right now. And then after a while, you ain't going to be able to get nothing. But it's there so that everybody get as many guns because the United States knows already that that's one of their number one knockoff is to make sure that everybody got guns. So the war is going to be in the streets. They know that already. That's a part of their plan. I sit back and today I wanted to cry, but I couldn't even do it. It's just like I'm at a standstill. For what are you crying? These things need be. You saw them before they were. So what are you crying about? And the problem is when you sit here looking and you seeing the things that's actually taking place, and you watching how even the Europeans are setting this stuff up for to really come after a people, and the people is too ignorant and blind to all their wickedness and can't even see it. And then you sit back and you like trying to figure out, is this supposed to be like this? Yes, it is. They don't see me, so what do they want to see? Themselves? Okay, go on out there. Because it is. It's gonna be when they pass that gun. I spoke to you all about smoking that marijuana that they have now. I don't think it's marijuana. I know for a fact it's a host of chemicals. And I believe that you can inhale that stuff. And I believe it's something in it that do and will affect you in the time to come. Because just like I couldn't understand how did the United States announce in the year of 2021 that they're going to have, was it 5 billion people shall be dead by 2025, May of 2025. And from what the scientists and the doctors, those who do embalming and all, they said that that number is way past that number. So how did they know? It's because they know what's in that stuff, you guys. And I never would have thought of it to reenact, had it on their news. And they said it's going to be even contagious to where others can get it from someone else who has gotten the shot. It makes a lot of sense. That's why they want you to have 1, 2, 3. Now they came out with another one. That's why they want you to keep getting it, because they know that if you have it in your household and you got 2 and 3 of them, it's enough for you to spread even when you die. You're going to be spread it. I believe that. Let me tell you why. Have y'all ever saw The Walking Dead, the series? It was a form of spreading. The whole idea was to get it spreading. And when it was done, it killed just about everybody out. You see? They were biting and everybody else. Everywhere they go, everybody was dead. You see? I think that's pretty much how it always ends before they start a new one. Everybody be gone. And that's just what it is. I think I heard you say that the other day, is that one can't spread on me what I am. Okay. What are you? You said the I am. I know that the Father says, you shall drink poison and it shall not harm you. And I think that plays a big role in the Ruach being in you. But I believe that was their number one power punch. It's what they gave. It was so easy and they did it so swift. And I think in the last let's say 7 days, you done had a good probably 40 young people, 40 and under, that passed away out of nowhere, unexpected. A lot of 20-year-olds passing away, unexpected. Europeans, blacks are also, but no one is telling people it's because of the shot. No one is. It just amazed me. I look at that and I said, "But Father, they cannot get away with stuff like that unless you let them." I cannot see how easy people will believe them in what they're doing, that's destroying so many lives, and everybody all for it. Nobody says nothing. Only one I can think is the Most High Yah. Only one is the Most High Yah. Yeah, that's if the I am. If the I am is in you, no, they can't. It can't affect you. So I knew that it was something, because that's just how The Walking Dead was. It was about that little thing that got out of the lab and all that, and it's the same thing. And a lot of us really thinking that the power is in the power that beats on the earth. But what I sit back and watch, if Yah is the author and the finisher of any and everything, understand, it's still going his way. No matter which way it is, it's still going his way, according to his will, for his name's sake. So when we finish and we see things and we keep thinking of it, it's still going according to his way. I would say it to you all, I wouldn't want to not have Yah within. I wouldn't want to not have the Most High Yah living within, especially in this day and time. I would not want, I would not want. I would want him, not want. I would want him within, because that's the battle itself. That's the battle itself, is him. That's why he said, greater is he that is in thee than he that is in the world. A lot of things. It's like, I'm going to do a video. I don't know if I'm going to do it this week, probably this week. My garden is completed. Things are starting to grow and I'm finished with it. And I just wanted you all to take a look at it. And so altogether, it cost $220. Probably not quite that much, but I say give or take $220 to have this little greenhouse and to build my shelves and my bed, the bed that I built. So I'm gonna give you all a sneak peek of, not a sneak peek, but I'm gonna do a video out there so you all could see how Sister Deborah is doing as far as that greenhouse. And you too can do the same thing. Okay. Uh, I think that you could do it even if you have a porch or even if you have a basement. Excuse me, but I think that you can do it. I think being so I lease this house, even though the backyard is it's a pretty fenced in and decent backyard, and I just decided to put it on that little patio thing, my greenhouse, and it turned out pretty good. And stuff just started growing, y'all, just growing out of nowhere. And I'm like, wait a minute now. You go in there, and I did not know it'd be that hot in there. I did not know that a greenhouse is that hot. I can see why it holds up during the winter. That greenhouse is warm in there. So I am excited because I like the idea of taking the fall season and the winter and going into something that's going to have uh, all kind of good things that I like to eat, you guys. I'm growing things that I like to eat. You see what I'm saying? When it got to where, like, say eggplant, I know how to make the eggplant parmesan. I know how to eggplant casserole. I know how to do a lot with eggplant, but I'm not going to grow it because that's not what I like to eat. So I got an opportunity to really put in the things that to grow the things that I actually like to eat. And I did all the herbs. I also got with that, and I'm doing all of that. And I don't understand how your watermelon seeds have already sprout up. They so pretty. And I'm like, wait a minute, you only been in here 2 weeks. I mean, it's just amazing. And I think that's what I'm going to get a kick out of. Not so much, I know I'm going to eat what I'm growing, you guys, but I think I get more of a kick out of seeing that nature, seeing that stuff grow like that, and seeing that I have a situation where I can actually eat from my garden. It's a really good thing. I didn't know if I was going to do it. And I just think about if I were to bring my mom over, she would be overwhelmed because she would be like, oh, wow. She'd be shocked, you know. But I'm going to give you all a look at it and let you see what I'm growing. Yeah, and I like that. I just think that just something really. And you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to be even in that greenhouse and really working in it, like I should be. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I need to do something. I need to really get involved in something and stop just. And I really do, y'all. I really do. And if you're out there and you just swinging around and just doing nothing and just getting old and not doing anything, not really doing something, it's good to just have something to be able to keep you busy, keep you busy. So I, Sister Deborah, anybody have any questions? Or maybe you have answers. We still got a few minutes here. If you have, yes, it is peaceful, but I didn't know that. I'm telling you, I did not know that because I can go in there and I close myself up in there and I'll be like, oh, this is really nice. It is really nice, you guys. Really, it is. It's so different. Hmm. Yeah, it is really. It's so different. And then I begin to think, if I was on some land, y'all, this sister, you'll wonder what if you can take that little area and build what you just built. Just imagine if you could take that and put that on land. I would have lines of vegetables all the way down. I was as far as, oh my goodness. And I'll be growing crazy. I probably would be growing like crazy. That's all I have to do. And I would be just growing stuff like crazy. They were talking about spraying it because pesticides and all that stuff, that I would get a bigger greenhouse like the one I got. I think if I had to go on land, I would get like a large one like this one here, because they got them in real big size. I got the small one, and they got them in real big size. It don't cost. I think the big one is like $159, but it's a big one. And just put all your vegetables and stuff in there, and you don't have to worry about spraying it, and when you out in, oh man, I'm telling you, you guys, another thing I want to tell y'all, they are pushing out a lot of movies in the area of Revelation. They are pushing out things in the darkness of their revelation of what they're viewing, and they want you to know that's coming. But what I'm looking at is how the Yah is going to use what he said in Proverbs 16. I created the evil and the wicked for the day of evil and wicked. So that leads me to understand they got a role to play in this end days. And I know a lot of you all won't accept that and believe it, but they do. That's why I said you just got to be, you know what? If each one of us will be focused on us and where we need to be standing right with Yah, so we can make it better with others who's trying to find their way to Yah, and be able to support and tell them and support them in how to get to the narrow gate, in the direction. Okay, because I look at it like everything I'm saying, I believe that it's a way to the narrow gate. You see, and I all I know is the way that I go. That's the only way I could really teach it, is the way that I go, and the way that I go, I'm led. See, I go where I'm led. Woo, Father Yah, I go where I am led. So in that process, I speak on the way to the gate. And I'm going to tell you, it's no way you can go in the direction of the narrow gate without the Holy Spirit. Without the Holy Spirit. But when I was reading, I read a lot of stuff, and then I sit and I be asking the Father, what are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? It's going to be like this. Because I sit back and I think by him being the I am, now listen to me, y'all, hear me well. By the Most High being the I am, nobody on the face of this earth can tell him what and how to do him. And you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth about that. I always felt that as a teenager. Nobody can tell the Most High Yah how to do him. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I think we are going to do in due season. We're going to also learn that his ways are not our ways. His ways are not our ways. He's the I am. We are not the I am. He is the I am. He is greater than the world and anything else. We are not as he is, greater. You see what I'm saying? So we can't think that we can tell him what he can and he cannot do what is his. All things belong to him. He can do that. That's why I can salute I am, because it makes a lot of sense. I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. Finity. You can take I am too. And he can be that. We should never put him in a black box or a white box and say what he's limited. He's like this, he can't do this. Let me tell you why. Because in spite of him being in me, I only know what the I am is willing to instill to me or say to me. He don't have to answer to me. He don't have to do things the way I said it, the way I think it, the way I feel it. I've known him to not do nothing, Sister Deborah way. I get a kick out of knowing his way. And there's something in that with what I just said, because I like washing dishes earlier today. And he was just saying all these things to me. I was in the bathroom early when I was running the water. He was just saying all these things to me. And I was like, I ain't even got my pencil and piece of paper to write all this stuff down. It's just so much he was saying. Why would he say these things to me if I think I know more than he knows, or I think he has to answer to me? I think that myself, I think there's a fear in me of him. There's a belief in me of him. There's a righteousness that's rests in me of him. And there is a faith in me that is of him, to the point where I don't think without a doubt that he answered to nobody. Me, nobody. He don't have to answer to nobody. When you understand I am and sit your tail down and write I am, and you start to say I am and look at I am as Yah. This. It's no end to it, y'all. It's no end to him and who he is. So therefore, it makes so much sense. I am. Now in Hebrew, it's ahaya, ahaya. I am that I am. Ahaya, ahaya. And I like that because it's so, to me, I'm not talking about to nobody else. To me, it feels like it's so much power behind that. It's like I can be whatever I want to be. Who gonna say something to me about who I am? You see? And reason why I said it, I'm going to lay it out to why I said that, is because when I see him saying he's going to take his to Mount Zion, I don't think it's nobody on the earth can tell him who he is. You get what I'm saying? Who he is. He calls it, it was said a small remnant. What is a small remnant to the Creator? We can't say. We can't say what is a small remnant to him. You see, a small remnant to us would be just like a certain length, but to him it could be many. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like learning to just be content with him being in you and what he is willing to teach you, how he is willing to lead and guide you, how he is willing to correct you, how he is willing to chastise you, how he is willing to discipline you, how he's willing to be your father, a mother, a friend, a teacher, a lawyer, how he's willing to be all the I am in you and some, and just leave him there. Don't put a chain or yoke around his neck or yoke around who he is. Let him be. I ain't gonna say let him be. He is the I am. He could be a higher. He's who he said he is. So I don't think that we as humans on this earth have or will be able to, because of our flesh plays a role in our lives, keeping us from seeing really who he is in the spirit realm. You see what I'm saying? And we just think he's just limited. Oh, when he don't know this and he don't know that. He didn't see this and he didn't say that. He didn't see this and he don't know nothing about this, or he don't, we really do put him in that line. And we shouldn't do that, because with me, I'm even, I'm like saying, okay, I see here it says this, it says this, it says this. And it was like, I am the one that's gonna come and get mine. So say it like, hey, I'm coming to get what's mine. Do I know who's his? No. But they his. I know that. And he come to get what's his. Because when we think what is his and what it's like to be his in a way that we know his, it's not a way to live, with him greater in you. Because he to me, he's whoever he want to be. I don't care about how he's going to come to take Israel and Judah out of the chaos. I don't care about when. I don't even care if I'm going to be living to enter out of this land. All I know is where I am in him, and he is in me today. I never lose him. And that's all that's important to me, is that I will never lose him, y'all. I will never lose him, because he ain't gonna never lose me. You see? So and with that being said, I say this, that not putting him in a small box and limiting him to have to be a certain way to please us, or for us to even consider him to be who he is. Because with me, hey, I've seen he showed me so many things, y'all, and I'm to the point where, hey, what else can it be? What else, what else is there? I mean, it's just who he is. He can be whoever he wants. Nobody can tell him who is his small remnant. Nobody can tell him which way to go or which way to take us. Some people saying in the plane, ship, in the spaceship, in a boat. I mean, in a boat, and all this old stuff. He's gonna take us out. I don't care about how he's gonna do it. I just like the ideal of who he is. They got a plan. We don't have no plans. He got all the plans. Why? Because heaven had them all wrote out already. So I like the ideal. He knows what he's going to do. He don't need us to make it a way that he has to go this way and he has to turn this way. No, he got to go down this way. Oh no, he has to be like this. He has to dress like this. He's gonna have to look like this. He's gonna have to act like this. Oh, he gonna have to do this, and he gonna have to do this. He gonna have to do this to Russia. See, we got him bent, because we bend all up. But the moment we just take a deep breath and realize, wait a minute, he said he the I am. He can be whatever he want to be. Right now, he can be whatever he want to be right here amongst us. He can be whoever he want to be. And can't nobody tell him he can't be all that answer. But because people believe he is limited, because they figure they all that answer, and they going to limit him to be only what they want him to be and how they only want him to be, that's what makes it so hard. That makes it very hard. And I just felt the need to say that, because I believe when it's time to go, I believe Israel and Judah is going to suffer the judgment heavy. And I believe when we have gone through that part, and we get out of here then. But I don't think he's going to take us out and then let the judgment. I think we are going to ride this thing all the way down. And then that's when he's going to pick us up and take us out. I really do. I think that's how it's going to go. Um, that's what I believe. But and whatever way he does it, it ain't important, y'all. It ain't important how he do it or the way he's going to do it, the hour, the time, the minute, the month. It's just trusting that he got this whenever he do it, because he's the I am. And when you really grip that I am, it can put you in a different mindset of who he is. Because right now, let me say an example. Say, for instance, I go to get my lawnmower fixed, and I want to take it to a place that works on lawnmowers. And I go up there, and these people are not used to me, people like me. And they see me standing there and in line, and they're talking all around me. You see? So here I come in, then all of a sudden, the whole focus is on me. The whole attitude and the whole vibration changes. And the people begin to be pleasant. They begin to be nice. How can I help you? And then they begin to fix your lawnmower to show you that it really didn't need fixing, but all you need to do is do this and push this up and do this. And they so nice to you. That's the spirit of Yah. See, he'll let you know that I don't care who you are and what you come around in the midst of. I got this. I got this. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to tell y'all something else. A lot of times we as a people, we put out certain vibes, and that's why we get a lot of negative vibes. You see what I'm saying? We might say, well, no, that's because that's our makeup. Because you got to always think now, we did it to the creator, the one that created us. We did it to him. And when he sent the Messiah, we did it to him. And we can't even see that we did it to them. We did it to the creator, and we did it to the creator's son. We can't even see we did stuff like that. We won't own it. It's just a form of in us, the soul. I think that's got to be connected to that stiff neck rebellion and disobedience. It has to be. So what I'm saying is, the environment that we're in is not going to buckle up to us, and it's not going to change. But he that is greater in us, he's greater than anything out in this world. So when you step into an environment, whether it's a doctor's office, a hospital, a school, any type of auditorium, any place you go with the idea that he is greater in me than he is in the world. So it's like when you step in, you know he's all that and some in you. So you have to be all that as well. When you have that mindset like that, let me tell you something. People treat you different. They really do, y'all. They really, really do. And it has happened to me so many times to where it's a living testimony. It's a living testimony. It's real, him living in you. And he is all that and some in you, and you don't have to prove who he is in you. You don't have to show, look, y'all, he's in me. Look, y'all, he's in me. Oh, you don't have to do all that. Just be low. Stand still. You see, you don't have to do all that fussing and arguing, going in places, acting crazy and acting that somebody owe you, somebody need to answer you, somebody need to look at you, somebody need to respect you. But when you walk in there and you know that the Ruach is in you, bam! You just can be yourself. And all of a sudden, everybody is so pleasant around you. It is off the chain. And I give the Most High Yah all glory and honor for being all that he said that he would and that he is. You see? So Sister Deborah added that on there because I want you all to understand that the greater he is, the greater he is, the greater he was, and the greater he's going to be. So you have to have that mindset that he's all that and what you call some. And you is nothing. But when he in you, you become something greater than you yourself. And I'm telling you, I don't care where you go or what you do, battle fighting, if you lose a battle, it's because you won it. If you lose a battle, it's because you won it. Mm-hmm. See, the battle is in the flesh. The fight is in not the battle is in the spirit. The fight is in the spirit. The victory is in the spirit. Because if you think that the victory is in the flesh and it's worth battling that way, let me tell you something. A lot of times when it seems like you lost, you really, really won. Why? Because you won in the spirit realm. He didn't want you to win that trash in the natural. He got you the victory in the spirit. Where that peace that passes all understanding. That joy. That joy. You see? So therefore, don't look at even things that you lose as if you lost. Look at things you lose, you gained. Because the battle is in the spirit, you got victory in the spirit, even though in the natural it appeared that you lost. You can't lose what you got victory in the spirit already. It wasn't what you needed to have. So know y'all in the presence of the inner. Learn to kick that outer man to the curb and focus more so on the inner, because I would like to get to know more people who have that power. You see what I'm saying? I would like to know more people who has that power, because I think that it's important that people begin to see the power of those who have the Ruach. I believe people in this day and time needs to see that power of those who have the Ruach. So they themselves can see from the outside and know the miracle itself is the victory on the inside that gives the miracle or the signs and wonders on the outside. It's that victory on the inside. You see? So learning him from the inner man and not so much as on the outer. So that's why Sister Deborah tell you, if I want to wrap my head, I wrap my head. If I don't want to wrap my head, I won't wrap my head. If I want to wear jewelry, I want to wear jewelry. If I want to wear eyelashes, I want to wear eyelashes. None of that is going to affect that one in me so great. What he gonna get up and do? You putting on them earrings? I ain't gonna be in you. I ain't got nothing to do with you no more. That's it. You got earrings on? Oh no, you ain't got your head right. Oh no. See, that's going back to telling you all. They've been playing that since thousands of years. Thousands of years. They've been playing it for so long. So this individual said to me, he said, You said you work with the fathers. I said, yeah, the Catholics, the fathers. And one thing they used to do, they used to always want a cash bar for the events that they had. They always wanted the cash bars because they love to drink like a fountain. And I ain't talking about no Kool-Aid and no wine. They don't deal with that. They drink strong drink. And they always dressed in black. See, it's all the signs were always there. Now watch this here. And then he said, but you know what? I knew you worked with the sisters. I work with the sisters. I work with the fathers in one of the headquarters. I work with the sisters about 3 times in my life. And the sisters are off the chain. What's his name? Dave what's that comedian name? Chappelle. If they put him up there against a sister, as a Catholic sister, he would lose. He will lose. The sisters, let me tell y'all something. They are so nasty. You guys, they got more comedy than comedy got its comedy than comedy has itself. They can have you bugging up the jokes that they have. Y'all, they tell things that I ain't never heard in my life. And I mean, they have you going. And I'm a person that don't like to laugh. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't do a lot of laughing. Okay. So as I was working with them, I learned them as people who they got a sense of humor, and they do a lot of joking and a lot of playing and a lot of nasty jokes, a lot of nasty tricks. I'm telling you, the sisters do. I got an opportunity to meet Sister Jude, and she's a Filipina, and she ended up joining the sisters right when her mother died. Somewhere her mother had some sort of power, and she didn't know that many people surrounded her mother. Now, I'm gonna give you Sister Jude testimony. Not testimony, but my testimony about Sister Jude. She hired me as the cook to not train, but to fix meals for women that was on drugs. It was a house where they had just women, and they were strung on drugs. It's like a rehab, and there was a Roman Catholic facility. And Sister Jude hired me there, and she paid me very well, and we got to know each other very well. Sister Jude joined the Catholics as a sister. I think she was 18, and Sister Jude had a mother and a sister and a brother, and she's a Filipina. And I said, why would you? She said it was very hard for her to be in the Roman Catholic because she was a Filipina. And she said that her mother and her sisters and all of them, they had like nannies, and that her mother was very, very rich. But her mother was not just rich, she was very powerful in the country that she stayed in. And I think she was 18 when she joined the Roman Catholics. As a sister, because her mother passed away. And now listen to this, y'all. Her mother passed away, and she knew her mother knew a lot of people, and she knew her mother was rich because they had nannies. You see what I'm saying? And she said so many people looked up to her mother like her mother was a queen, really somebody important. She never really knew her mother to be anything but a mother, because she just knew her as a mother. But it was always so many people around her mother, professional people and all these type of people. So when her mother passed away, the place was so full, and so many people from all over the world, she said, came to her mother's funeral. So she said, and they said things to her that she had no idea that her mother was involved in. And she said from that day on, she vowed to herself that she wanted the same power that her mother had. Ain't that sad? She wanted that power that her mother had. So Sister Jude says, so when she was 18, she joined the whatever it's called when you join the Catholic nuns, and she joined there. And before you go there, her mother left her a large wealth, because her mother had a lot of money, and left her brother, and her sister. They got their money, but she took hers and gave it to the Roman Catholic. And her mother was very wealthy, and she gave it to them, because when you join, you have to give them all of your wealth. So she turned all her wealth over to her sister, and brother was against her doing that because they were older than she was, but that was something she said she wanted to do. So she said that. I said, so all this time. And when I met Sister Jude, she was Sister Jude was like 65, and she had reached almost the highest level in the Roman Catholic sisterhood, or whatever, the sisters. She had one more level, y'all, to reach, to be in the highest. And that's what's her goal, to just reach that level. And she says she enjoyed the power that comes with it, and how they look up to her, just like her mother, that power her mother had. And she said that it was a battle because she was a Filipina, a Philippines, whatever, Filipina, whatever. But she made it, y'all. The time I met her, she hired me for the facility, one of a real nice facility, and then in the back of the facility was the houses for the sisters, and I had to cook for the sisters and for the house where they had a women that was on drug, had been fighting to beat drugs. Women, they couldn't take their children, they couldn't have nobody but just them. It's a rehab. So I remember one time, Sister Jude, I was in a situation, and Sister Jude said, "Here, take this." I said, "Sister Jude, you can't give me this." She said, I've had this. I hold on to it. Take it." And I would say, "Why you gonna do that?" I would just say, "Here's good." She said, "Deborah." I mean, we had gotten so close. And the reason why we got close is she wasn't a European. She was a Filipina. And she was, I mean, we could talk about everything. And you know what I told her, y'all? I ain't got no sense. I told you I ain't had no, I said, "You should have just tried to get a relationship with the Most High God. You didn't have to be in the Roman Catholic." I said, "They wicked." Sister Jude say, "Deborah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yes, it's a lot of them in there." Oh boy, and I just broke that thing down. I broke Mary down to her. I broke and told her how wicked they are. And I'm gonna tell you, honey, and I was young. And let me see, Jonah is 26. So that had to have been, oh my goodness, that had to have been 35 years ago. I bet you Sister Jude is dead. I should try to go visit her to see if she's still there. I bet you know what? I think I will do. No, she probably did. She was old then. I think I might just do that. I don't know if she's still over there, but I mean, she was just, we talked about everything. I mean, this me and this lady talking about everything. And guess what, y'all? We was always on one accord. It was never that, "Oh no, Sister Jude, I don't believe that." Or she'll say, "No, Deborah, you shouldn't say that. That ain't true." But I'm gonna tell you, we was always on one accord. Me and that old lady got along real good. We was always on one accord. It's just like when we saw each other, we got to sit down and start talking. We just talked for, I mean, not hours, but for a long time. And we was always on one accord. And I told her, "You should get out, Sister Jude. You shouldn't even stay in there. You shouldn't even get out. You should get out of it." She said, "But I got one more step before I make it to the highest level. And that means I'll be able to travel all over the world. And I have been traveling. I like all the travel." She said she liked it, the power. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know they have different levels of the sisters, different levels, and they get a lot of privileges and power. They don't start off, they start off one way, but it's to reach the final level. She had one more level to reach, and I think Scotland is where she was going to accept that last final awards for that last step. It was that last one. She had already was told that she won that her final level, and she said she was going to just retire and travel all over the world. That's what she said. But that was a nice lady. I mean, I'm telling y'all, and the fathers, let me tell y'all, them guys is some characters. I'm telling you, they are some characters. And all they do is drink that hard liquor, and they always want to cash bars. They always want cash bars around. And that's all they do is smoke and drink. I mean, I ain't talking about no Kool-Aid, and I ain't talking about no wine, but strong drinks. They love strong drinks. Sisters and them, when they have their events, they love strong drinks too. That's one thing that's in the Roman Catholic. They love strong drinks. But it's like I've also worked in the prison system, in the men and the women prison system, and I also worked in the maximum prison system. I've worked amongst like I say, the sisters and the fathers. I've worked in a drug rehab for men. I worked there. I worked at probably 15 hospitals. The major hospital, even here, Bowens Jewish. That's where I had met my husband. I worked for Chrysler minivan. I worked for the post office. You guys, I had really decent jobs, but guess what? The jobs wasn't for me to prosper. You see what I'm saying? I prospered. The jobs were for me to prosper in the spirit, not so much as in the finances for us, the natural. It was for me to prosper in the spirit. I got to know people. I got the opportunity to be around the multitude. All those jobs had multitude of people working, not no 10, 15. I'm talking about thousands of people. So all my life, I've always been around the multitude of people. This way, I could also learn the different spirits and the way people communicate and how they conduct themselves. People always saw me to be mean. They thought that, hey, wait a minute. When we come to her, we got to talk right. We got to make sure we offer her the right amount of wedges. We got to make sure we offer her what even she might say. Now, this is the way I know they were saying it, because I always go into a place not saying you're going to give me what you want. You're going to either give me what I say I'm going to accept, or so long. Non-tolerant. And the more I look back at it, I realized this was all the right hand of the Father in the stretched out arm. Stretched out arm mean he came way down with that power to work with me among the lifestyle I had to live on the journey in which he has taken me. So so much for that. I gave you all around the clock of Sister Deborah. But I will say I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I appreciate you. And I will say again, be grateful. Be grateful that Yah is all that he said that he is, and he said that he was, and that he's going to be. Be grateful in that he is all that and some, the beginning and the end. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.